that look cool? A little lead in.
Yeah.
Hey there, everyone. Andrew Lopez at Partner Channel OC. Back at it again, as always. Where are we, John? This is a really cool spot where we're at.
We're at a friend's studio. It's called Pot of Gold. Pot of Gold Recording in Orange. And I just did a shoot for these guys. They record a lot of the local bands around here. And they've just rebuilt this studio. So I came in to help them out and shoot some shots of the space.
Well, perfect. Yeah, this is a really cool spot. I wish y'all could see kind of everything here. And thank you so much, Pot of Gold, for letting us be here. And so, John, I have John Gilhooley here with us, famed photographer here in Orange County. John, tell us a little bit about yourself and what is it you do?
I don't know about the fame part, but I'm a local photographer based out of Huntington Beach. I've been shooting for about 30 years now. A lot of stuff for the OC Weekly in the last 15 years. OC Weekly, Culture, Global Trade. There's some other magazines, Riviera, Modern Luxury. There's a range of magazines I do, and I do a lot of portraits. I do a lot of magazine covers, and I do a lot of live music. Mm-hmm. So my subject matter is kind of like, it's kind of like a extension of my own life, which is, I grew up surfing, skateboarding, playing guitar in bands in the early 80s, and currently playing guitar in bands now too. And so my subject matter kind of correlates with the kind of way I live my life.
Yeah. It's like nothing's changed the last 30 years, right? Everything's the same.
Not a lot's changed. Well, the growing up part and the, being responsible part for sure. But, as far as my life, yeah, I mean, here I am, at my age, still surfing waves, still strumming guitars, and, still enjoying my life and trying to, do something with it, with photography. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really, really like what you got going on. You've still been doing it for 30 years, and you're living the life that I live at 26.
26,
awesome. Huntington
right.
Beach, can't go wrong here, living by the ocean. And so who are some of the people that you've worked with in the past?
Okay, well, I got into photography in the 70s when I was a kid, shooting skateboard contests and just, anything around the neighborhood. That was kind of my thing, playing in the dark room. That was late 70s. By the early 80s, I was shooting the skateboard contests that I was going to. And then I ended up taking it kind of seriously, going to photography school in the mid '80s, and after that, I got out and started assisting some of the bigger names around the Hollywood scene. Did a lot of stuff with the people that were shooting Rolling Stone, Vanity Fair, that kind of stuff, and I went on from that to do some location scouting too. So, the mid '90s, I was location scouting for the crew from Rolling Stone. And in those days, there was no digital, so it was take a Polaroid camera or a regular 35 millimeter camera and run anywhere from the beach to the desert to, around the suburbs, wherever they wanted to take a celebrity or a rock star or whatever, take a bunch of pictures, have them developed at the 1 hour photo, or take Polaroids, staple them in manila folders and FedEx the location to New York. The crew there would go, oh, look at this spot, look at that spot. Let's shoot here, let's shoot there. We'd secure the permits and go shoot.
Yeah, it's a process.
Shoot on location. Yeah, it was fun. It was, I'm glad there was no digital then. It made work for us. There's still location scouts, but they do it digitally now. Mm-hmm. And from that, I went on to shooting, transitioning into shooting. I've always been shooting since I was a kid, but I'm talking about shooting for a living, shooting professionally.
Yeah.
From that, I went on to shooting, and like I said, I also relocated. I grew up in Los Angeles, relocated to Huntington Beach in the late '80s, and I've been there ever since. I'm a surfer. I was a surfer growing up in LA, so I wanted to live by the beach. And Huntington Beach is known for the waves. And at that time, moving to Orange County, people were like, "What are you doing? It's too far of a drive to Hollywood, too far of a drive to LA." And I'd say, "You know what, man? Where do you live? You live in the Valley. You live in Reseda, Sherman Oaks. My drive's about the same. And I commute to LA when I need to, but I've really grown a base here, where I shoot for OC Weekly. I've shot about 150 covers for OC Weekly, so my base is here." I probably go to LA 2-3 times a month. Most of my work here is in Orange County.
Awesome. What would you say, a quick question I had just listening to that is, what would you say has changed the most in photography the last 30 years?
The digital part. The digital part and the cameras on people's phones.
Makes life easier?
Yeah, it makes life easier and harder. When you go to shoot somebody now, the first thing they'll say is, "I'm a photographer too. Look at this shot of me and my dog or my kid on the beach. Isn't it wonderful?" And you'll say, "Yeah, that's a wonderful photo. Out of the thousands of photos you took on your phone, that particular day, the sunlight was just right, and your dog's looking cute, and you guys are looking great. But as far as me needing to go shoot you, doing your business, on a Wednesday afternoon. We're not on the cliff at the beach, and that's where the professional photography part comes in. It's making a nice picture no matter what the conditions are, no matter what time of day it is. And, it's a lot different than doing a happy snap accident. So yeah, that's changed a lot. And I've rolled with it. I remember when digital came in, a lot of friends, photographers said, oh, I'm never going to do that. I'm not going to switch to digital. Guess what? Everyone switched to digital, especially if you're shooting, news for a weekly or a daily paper. You have deadlines. There's no time to wait to process film, and that's the thing that's changed the most.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool. Thank you for sharing that. I was just curious hearing you talk about the transition in the last 30 years and the landscaping and stuff. I mean, it's come a long way. I would call you, my great grandfather always said, pay the professionals. So the young kids like me taking pictures with the iPhone, portrait mode. I'm not a professional. I would look to a guy like you, 30 years of experience, and everything that your portfolio is huge.
Thanks. But here's the thing. There is some very good iPhone photographers. Mm-hmm. There's people shooting weddings on iPhones. There's people doing videos on iPhones. There's people making movies on iPhones. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, is I never underestimate it. I never think that, someone who's an amateur is not getting a good result, because some are. Mm-hmm. Some are. The thing is can you be professional? Can you be there, 7 days a week? Can you deliver consistently, not here and there and sporadically? That's what being a professional photographer, professional anything is. Mm-hmm. So that's, for me, I've always tried to remain professional and do a good job. And it's not about the camera; it's about the interaction with the people and the feeling of the shot.
Exactly.
And, if you look at my website, you'll see some of that stuff in there. It's not always about the lighting either, although I try to do really good lighting. It's about making the person at ease, making them feel like they're not, deer in the headlights type thing in the picture.
Perfect. Last quick question for us here, one I always ask on Partner Channel OC is, how do you value partnership as a photographer in your business? Partnership.
Well, partnership's really important. For me, partnership, what I partner with is my editors, editors and writers. When I meet, since I shoot a lot of editorial photography, when I meet a writer, I want to know about the story. I want to know, what's this person do? What's that person do? What's this little thing they've told you about themselves that maybe we should get? I don't want to go shoot a great portrait of this person where I choose, and then later on read your story and hear that the guy likes to do this as a hobby or this or that, and I didn't get that. I didn't go get a picture of that. So that's important with partnership. That's with the writers. With the art directors and the editors, it's also along those lines of like working as a team. I always keep an open mind. I always think that I don't always have the best idea. Maybe someone else's idea is good. Maybe my idea is good. Maybe we meet in the middle and do something great. So that's what I do with partnership. I do it with subjects too. I call the subject before the shoot. Hey, what are you into? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I always tell people this: don't tell me the idea right away. Go ahead and sleep on it and call me tomorrow. Let's think of some things and schedule this shoot and get a good result, instead of trying to think of it while you're on the phone with the person or right there on the spot. So that's what partnerships is with me. It's worked all this time, and like I said, if you look at my work, I hope you can see that show through.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad I asked that. Even though you might be a photographer, there's still a huge value of partnership that John has here, and I'm very glad that he shared it with us. So I'm going to put John's contact info below. Reach out to him. He is a professional, and he is more than just a guy behind the lens. He's a partner. He's a good guy. He's a musician. He's here to help you out. So John, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks, Andrew.
This will air soon, and cheers, everybody. Reach out to John.